guys, I'm Rebecca Busick and welcome back to my channel. I'm looking a little crazy right now because I have brows, face makeup, lips on, but no eye makeup. And that is because I am going to do a first impressions try on of the new Natasha Denona mini sunset palette. So it came like this in my box from Sephora. I wasn't planning to film today, but this came and I wanted to test it out. So this is how it came. I haven't even opened the cardboard from Sephora yet. So and if I apologize, my kids are right outside the door playing outside. My neighbors are cutting up wood with their chainsaw, so there's some background noise. I apologize. It's life. It is what it is. Husband's not home yet, so you can see the kids out the window here, and we're attempting to make this video. Anyways, this is what she looks like. It says Natasha Denona Mini Sunset Palette, 5 shadows, and it says 5-piece times 0.8 grams and 0.02 ounces. So I assume the 0.8 grams is how much you get per eyeshadow. It says that they are made in Italy and not tested on animals. So now let's go ahead and get into the box. Shouldn't be this tricky, but somehow it is. All right. When she slides out, it's like this. Pretty basic plastic package. I mean, it feels decently heavy for how teeny this is. I mean, you can see it's not, I mean, I have smaller hands, but still, you know, fits in the palm of my hand here. It's not very big. This retails, says Natasha Denona here, retails for $25. The Natasha Denona Full Sunset Palette, which is what this is inspired from, I believe these are all 5 new shades, retails for over $100. I don't know the exact price point. They're very expensive, so I've never tried anything Natasha Denona before. So I think this is a really cool way to try the quality of the product before you jump on board, even though $25 for these little eyeshadows is pretty pricey, considering you can get like a full ABH palette for $42 that comes with, I think, 14 shades. So it is spendy, but at least for $25 you can try the brand, see what you think of the quality before you jump in to a super expensive high-end palette. Also, let me know in the comments below. I've been toying with getting one of the 6-pan Pat McGrath palettes that launched for $55, and they have 2 neutral and then 1 kind of fun pop of color palette. I'm kind of attracted to the fun pop of color, but I don't use pinks and purples too much, so then I'm not sure if it's worth it. Let me know in the comments if you want me to test out one of those palettes for you. Again, another high-end brand that has come out with a smaller palette to allow us to kind of, those of us that don't want to jump in full bore, try a smaller palette for a more reasonable price before the really big one. So let me know if you want me to review one of those in the comments. So this is how it looks. You get 2 mattes and 3 shimmer or metallic colors. If it's straight for the color that's on the back to the back here, this one is Halo. No, that must not be right. Sunbeam. That must not be right. That doesn't seem like the color would be called Sunbeam. Dirty Mars, Apollo, and Guava. I don't think that's right. I don't think I'm reading it right. So maybe it's flipped. I don't know. Anyways, so this is a matte and this is a matte. The other 3 are shimmers. And let's go ahead and do some swatches. Ooh, it feels very soft and creamy. Oops. So this is that first light matte shade. It looks like it needs to be built up a little bit here, but let's try building her up. Looks like it's going to build up pretty nicely. Not as first swipe pigmented as I was expecting, but it's building up really nicely. So that's really the important thing is that it builds up. And then I'm going to go into the next over, which is a metallic, which is that reddish burgundy color. It's more sheer than I expected. It feels pretty creamy in the pan, and they are building up, but it's not like the full-blown one swipe pigment that I kind of expected from Natasha Denona, since she's such a high-end brand. This one's more pigmented than the first matte. This is that matte chocolate brown, and it's building up. I don't know, it's building up nicely. I'm not overly impressed right off the bat, but as long as they perform on the eyes, that's what matters the most. Ooh, this bronzy one feels really creamy, so maybe this is going to be one of the metallic bold. So that one's a lot more one swipe pigmented. That was a little bit more what I was expecting, so that's a 2 swipe. And then we'll do this last little bit more champagne-y gold shade. And this feels more like the red one, not quite as creamy and thick. Probably not the greatest spot to swatch it. So that's, if you hold up the pan here, that's those. I don't know, by swatches, I'm not as impressed as I thought I would be, but what really matters is how they perform on the eyes. So let's go ahead and get into it. I am gonna take, with the lightest matte shade in the palette, I'm gonna take, this is a Sigma E40, I believe. It's kind of rubbed off, but I believe this is the E40, and I'm just gonna pop that in. And I primed with the Urban Decay Primer Potion, which, let's go ahead and get our transition shade going here. So definitely I feel like going on more pigmented on the eye than when I swatched it, especially considering this is a pretty big fluffy brush. Let's see here. Keep building her up. Blending out pretty nice, and it's going on more pigmented on my eye than when I swatched it, and that's really what matters, is how it goes on the eye. Let's take a clean brush and try and blend that out more. So this is another Sigma brush, and it's clean. It's the E35 tapered blending, so that's definitely, that clean brush is blending that out really nice. So I'm gonna go in with that same E35 again. It's a little bit smaller of a blending brush, a little, so it's not gonna blow out the color as much as the E40. Sorry, I can't think as I'm testing this out here. And now I'm gonna go in with the chocolate brown. And what brush do I want to use? I try and usually have my brushes picked out before I film, but I didn't do that this time. So I'm gonna go in, this is a Wayne Goss 16 brush, and I'm gonna dip just the tip of it in, because I only have 2 mattes to work with, so I can't layer too many transition shades. And this is probably darker than I typically go in the crease, but this, I'm just going to use the very tip of this and add a little bit with this Wayne Goss brush, just to deepen up that crease a little bit more. And that one's blending into that first matte shade really nice. I'm going to go back with the first kind of camel-y brown shade and go right above that again, because I have more hooded eyes, so I like to take my colors up a little bit, and I kind of feel like I covered a bit of that first transition shade. I cannot talk. Transition shade, and I'm gonna blend those together. So this is what we've got going on right now. So I think they're blending really nice, and they are going on the eye more pigmented than when I swatch. So that's really what matters, is how they build up on the eye. I'm going to take that same chocolate brown with a smaller crease brush, and I'm going to pack this into the outer corner here a little bit. See, kind of define that outer V a bit. Got my Sweet Peach palette, so I keep thinking these shadows are scented, but it's really the Too Faced palette I'm smelling. I'm gonna try a little packing. This is a MAC. This is more of a flat shader. I think it's a 239. And see how that's gonna, yeah, that's really gonna intensify that. Crease brush is still kind of a more of a fluffy, splayed out brush. So that's really going to give you that deeper colors. Definitely going on really true to color and deeper, which makes sense with a flat shader brush. I just wanted to see how it would work with that other brush, but I like it better for the outer V with this. I'm going to go back with that Wayne Goss brush, and I'm not going to add any product. I'm just going to blend and soften a little bit. And I'm going to bring this color in a little farther. Since we only have 2 mattes to work with, I'm going to bring this one in. A little farther, and I'm gonna blend. So now I think I'm gonna pop on. I think that looks pretty. I think they blended well. I think they went on really pigmented. You want to see the kick up, a little tiny bit of kick up. I used this one and this one. Those are the only 2 mattes in the palette. You know, a little bit of kick up, but I touched that originally with this little bit fluffier. It's not super fluffy, but it's not a flat shader. That's what I first touched that with, which is when that kicked up. And the other one, even with the E40, this one didn't kick up bad at all. So if fallout's a big thing for you, I don't think these are going to be too bad in the fallout department. I am going to take, what color? I'm going to take the red, the burgundy red color, and I'm going to pop that right next to the, sorry, I'm not trying to flip you guys off here. And I always pretty much put shimmers or metallics on with my fingers. I really don't use brushes. So since that's what I would normally do, that's what I am gonna do right now. And it's not overly metallic. I mean, it's a nice shimmer. It's not a ultra high shine metallic, I don't think. It's more of a traditional shimmer, but it's really pretty and it's layering on nicely. So that's what we got here. It's layering on really evenly and nicely. And let me build it up. And then I'm gonna take the more bronzy color and I'm gonna put that on the inner, just for the sake of trying as many colors as I can. Now the bronze I feel like is the most metallic foiled of all of them, and it feels thicker than the other 2 shimmers. So you can see, I don't know if you can see in my phone, I'm just filming on an iPhone 8 in selfie mode, that this one's a lot more kind of intense right off the bat than the other shimmer metallics in the palette. And then I'm just gonna take a synthetic brush here, if I can find one. This is actually, it's a little flat synthetic, and I'm gonna just to kind of blend these together. I picked up a little bit more of the red just to blend it up and into the brown there. So I can use the brush to lightly blend those two so they don't just kind of stark contrast. And then I'm gonna take that Wayne Goss brush again with no product on it and just lightly blend those up into the crease. And you can see that didn't, granted I'm being really soft, and this is like the softest brush on earth, and there's no product on it, but it didn't just blend those shimmers away. Like a lot of shimmer shades, I feel like when you blend them up into your crease, they kind of almost just blend away, and then you have to go back in and re-intensify. And then I'm going to take on this little tiny, it's actually a lip brush, but I don't really ever use lip brushes. This is a Limelight lip brush. I'm going to take the lightest kind of champagne-y gold, and I'm going to pop that right here as my inner corner highlight. Just again, I'm trying to use all the shades. Let's see here. That's very pretty. I'm gonna blend it up a little bit into the bronze shade so we kind of have a smooth transition there. So that is that there. Overall on my eyes, I feel like they're performing really nicely, really beautiful. I don't know that I'm impressed enough. I'm gonna re-intensify that chocolate brown here. I don't know that I'm impressed enough that I would go out and buy the full Sunset palette, but I think they're nice. I think they're nice quality, and I'm happy with my purchase. Don't know, again, that I'm impressed enough on my first impressions to make that big step up to the full size palette. But I'm gonna go ahead and run that lightest matte shade just under my lash line. What do you guys think? Have you guys picked this palette up? Do you have other Natasha Denona palettes? Sometimes I feel like these smaller versions aren't. I'm going to take the darkest chocolate and just in the outer kind of third here, deepen that up. Sometimes I feel like the smaller versions of palettes that people come out with, they're not for some reason as good of quality. Like I got a small Theory palette from Viseart in my Beautylish Lucky Bag this year, and I was so excited because I had always heard how amazing Viseart was. Their $80 all matte palettes are like the best. I'm gonna blend that out with the lighter shade. So such great quality, you know, made for professionals, amazing. And then I got the little, it's just a little tiny 6 pan. I mean, it's really little, and I used it, and you know, they were fine, but it wasn't like the incredible quality that I keep hearing about with Viseart. So just a little, I don't know if it's just the smaller palette wasn't as high a quality as their bigger palettes. Same as this, maybe this is just not quite as nice of quality as her full size palette. I think this is really nice, but I don't know if it's the hype that I've heard. So anyways, I'm gonna finish my other eye, and I'll be right back. All right, I am back. Got my mascara on, finished up the other eye, and I'm gonna give my final thoughts. Actually, before I give my final thoughts, I'm gonna pop on, I already have a liquid lip on, but I'm gonna pop on some of this Bare Minerals gloss. I think it's called Brilliant. And if you hear a little voice, my 2-year-old is now in the room with me, so if you hear any little voices or Minnie Mouse toys, that's why. This Bare Minerals gloss, I think I got it in a BoxyCharm. I really like it, and it's got a really peachy color, so I thought it would kind of warm up the lip I had on. It's a very thick gloss, but once it's on, it's not like overly sticky, but for a gloss, has a pretty good wear time because it's thicker. It kind of sticks and clings to the lips a little more. And usually when it kind of melds with the color I put underneath it, it gives it kind of more that peachy, warm hue. So I thought with the warm eyes, it would look a little better. And I think it says Popular Gloss Brilliant. So I think Brilliant is the shade. And you can hear my daughter talking in the background there. I apologize. So final thoughts on the Natasha Denona Mini Sunset Palette. Do I think the final look is beautiful? Yes. Do I think they're high quality? Yes, I think they're very nice quality. They blended nicely. They built up nicely. They look really, I think the final look is really beautiful. Definitely a high quality product. But am I so blown away that it inspires me to now go spend $129, which I went and looked after when I did the other eye. Sold out, but it's $129 for the full size Sunset palette. I don't think I'm so immediately blown away that it would inspire me to go out and buy a full size Natasha Denona palette. I think they're beautiful. I think they're good quality. They don't swatch really great on, at least for me. I don't feel like my initial swatch, I was like overly blown away, but they performed really nicely on the eye. Am I happy to have this little guy for 25 bucks? Yes, happy to have it in my collection. I'll be keeping it, using it, loving it, but I'm just not immediately like, wow, I need to check out more Natasha Denona full-size palettes. I might change my mind. First impression, you know, hold on, Anya. You know, I might change my mind. First impressions are that. They're a first impression. I may start pulling out other palettes, putting those on my eyes, use this the next day and be like, wow, this is way better than my Too Faced palette or Urban Decay palette or whatever it may be. So, you know, I may change my mind, but first impressions, it's great. I think it's worth you guys checking out. It's really beautiful on the eye. I'm just not gonna like immediately go buy a full size Natasha Denona palette. And now I got my other kid knocking on the door, my little one digging in drawers. Hold on, Anya. So I think that is my cue to get out of here. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. I'm a little tiny baby channel, so it really helps me. Drop a comment below. I'm also trying out the Halo Beauty, if you follow Tati, the Halo Beauty Hair, Skin, Nail Vitamins. Hold on, Anya. Sweetheart, quit knocking. I'm on day 3 or 4, and I'm going to be posting a 1-month update on those. I have pictures and everything to see because they claim within 3 weeks you should see results. I've got pictures and everything. We'll talk about all that in a future video. I had my husband take pictures of my hair all down and straightened on the first day I took the vitamins, and we'll talk about those in an upcoming video in, you know, 4-ish weeks when I finish my 30 days, and we'll see if I felt like I got results. Baby just fell, well, toddler just fell onto my ring light cord. This video is about to fall apart. But stay tuned for that. Drop me a comment below. Let me know, do you want me to like once a month do an update on my first impressions videos where I give you a more well-rounded view once I've tried the product out multiple times, let you know if my first impression changed, if they become one of my favorite products? Do you prefer more in-depth reviews where I try them 3 or 4 times before I come on? You know, first impressions are easier to get out quickly than trying for 3 or 4 days before, so that I can get a video up quick. But like I said, if you want me to, like, once a month do a follow-up video, let you know how my first impressions ended up after multiple uses, I don't know. Just let me know. Drop all your comments down below. Let me know what you think, what you prefer, and I'll talk to you guys later before we have a total meltdown with my children. Bye.